Forsaken is a game I think is mediocre. It has problems that make the game quite boring and frustrating. As a guy with more than 1000 hours on Dead by Daylight, I feel like I can speak a bit on Forsaken as it's an asymmetrical game. First point, chase mechanics. The chase mechanics in this game are really boring. The only thing you do is press shift, maybe do a bit of juking, but it really becomes predictable at one point. You do have to put in some thought on how to manage your stamina, but that's really it. And sometimes it feels like you can't do anything because the killer hard targets you. Some call it a skill issue, but I call it a game design issue. I'll suggest improvements on all my criticisms later in the video.
Good point. Hitboxes and character design.
Hitboxes aren't really the game's fault, but an asymmetrical game in Roblox can really suffer from these awful hitboxes. But the character design in this game is horrible. There are 3 characters that can stun the killer, which gets awfully frustrating when you're playing killer. I love getting stunned over and over again, thank you so much. Or on the survivor side, when you're facing against killers like 1x, 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 who has a really annoying ability to throw a projectile that literally disables your ability to play the game. It is really frustrating that a lot of the characters in this game have insufferable abilities. When I first got into this game, it was really annoying as no tutorial was presented to me, or a summary of how to use the noob character, which made me use all my utility at the start of the game, which made me die instantly. Or for example, I didn't know that if you deplete your stamina fully, it would put it on a cooldown before it starts recharging again. Or that you can get poisoned by the lakes in some maps. So basic knowledge like that really got me killed in some matches.
4th point. Objectives and goals game.
Initially, the puzzles were interesting, after doing generators on Dead by Daylight for years. After a while though, they got really stale and predictable. The whole premise of the game is hide and seek. Like, I see so many people just hiding in corners, doing nothing. That is just so lame. For the survivors, there is no team play in a game where team play is key. And for the killer, it sucks looking for survivors and finding none unless you look around that small corner in a map. Welcome to the section where I provide possible solutions to all the criticisms I've made. First of all, I'd add vaults to the game to make the game more interesting. Not only will that open possibilities for more characters, but also make chases more interesting. Now for the character design. Obviously the Forsaken devs have their own design philosophy, so I can't really alter that, but I would discourage adding a bunch of characters in the game that have stuns in their kit. I would also add a basic tutorial to the various characters in the game. Add an introduction on the base game mechanics. Also give tips for specific maps to know their niches. I would also add puzzle variety into the game so the game feels fresh. Also give the killers a universal ability to detect survivors. This will encourage less hiding. As a compensation, survivors should be able to see their teammates. I'm not here to discredit the work of the developers because it's clear that they have put a lot of work in this game. Like, just take a look at this lobby. They don't have to do this, but they do. And that's what I call passion.